Hello all, Dillon Smith. The form I found was from True North Christian Counseling. The form provides basic information about the counseling agency, that the counselors employed there have a God-based understanding of people. The informed consent form does not spend time providing specific information about each counselor employed, but it does refer the client to discuss with each counselor their specific background. The next section of the form informs the clients about confidentiality. Very broadly, the form states that typical occurrences are governed by HIPAA and require certain legal forms for the counselor to provide information to others. The form then proceeds to outline a few specific instances where only the client's written consent is needed to share information. Such cases involve consultation, government requirement, or maybe to a defense attorney if a suit's filed against the agency, or to verify treatment in cases such as workers' compensation, compensation by insurance, or those counselees that are compelled, say by judges, to be in counseling to fulfill some sort of legal requirement. The third section of the form outlines 3 specific instances in which the counseling firm indicates they are required by law to take action. All 3 of these instances really boil down to making sure that there's no direct harm to come to the counselee, the counselor, or anyone else for that matter. The next section is billing, if you will, or logistics. Billing isn't really discussed in terms of the cost of the services. The form does outline that proper cancellation of an appointment is 24 hours notice. And it does inform clients that if a appointment is not canceled properly, that they may still be billed for the appointment. It does also inform them the role of telephone calls, that if an emergency were to occur, the counselor is available by telephone outside of the regular scheduled hours. It does inform clients that a phone call that lasts more than 10 minutes will result in them being charged for a full session at the normal rate. The form then asks for the signature of the client here to show that the client understands what it is they've read, what they've agreed to. In the instance where someone is incapacitated and cannot legally make their own signature, it does also here allow for a party responsible for the client to make the signature. So as far as the form is concerned, most of the form is straightforward compared to the ACA Code of Ethics. Most of the information contained in the form is governed by the ACA Code of Ethics and required to be shared by them, as found by the American Counseling Association 2014. However, the form does miss a section that specifically lays out fees, as I highlighted earlier. Instead, the fee for a missed appointment is laid out, and it's just discussed what that fee is or when that fee is assessed, but any other hourly rates or half session rates are not discussed. Additionally, the form neglects to inform clients of the counseling center's referral policy, understanding that the ACA Code of Ethics does understand that referrals in some instances are to be last resort. It may become necessary to refer a client, and so some sort of policy made note of that on the informed consent form might be welcome to clients to help them understand that they may get to a point where the current counselor has to, for some legal or ethical reason, refer them to someone else. I think as a client, if I were to receive this form, I would certainly appreciate how easy to understand the form is. It doesn't contain a lot of high-level technical jargon that I would have any sort of higher education to understand. Um, I would be a bit lost not knowing ahead of time what the fees are for the counseling session. Again, the ACA Code of Ethics kind of talks about, if the one being counseled can't pay the fees, that referral to free resources may be appropriate. Um, but again, the fees are not discussed within the informed consent form, so I don't know how much I'm paying. And there's also not a clause that indicates that, if there's some issue where I maybe can't pay, I would be referred. So both of those things were absent. But outside of that, again, everything else was included as per the ACA Code of Ethics. And I believe that it was included in such a way that most lay people could understand what the form's saying.